Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the most powerful tools to upgrade your workshop and skills. In today's video, 82 new woodworking tools on Amazon Wood Tools for Experts, we dive into an incredible lineup of innovative, time-saving, and precision-focused tools every serious woodworker will appreciate. From advanced cutting solutions to smart measuring gadgets and pro-level accessories, each item is designed to boost efficiency and craftsmanship. Stay with us until the end. You might discover your next must-have tool that transforms the way you work with wood. Number 1. Jet Benchtop Mortiser Machine. Wrestling mortises by hand or with a drill press jig is how accuracy dies slowly. A Jet Benchtop Mortiser gives you dedicated, plunge-perfect mortises with a fence, hold-downs, and depth stops already built in. Lever-driven power lets you repeat clean, square cuts without fighting the workpiece. Chair rails, table legs, and frame and panel doors suddenly feel production-ready instead of one-off experiments. Tenon fitting becomes predictable and tight. This changes the workflow completely for anyone serious about joinery. Things are getting even better from here, because the next gadget turns drawer installation into a guided system. Number 2. Milescraft Drawer Installation. Hanging drawers by eye is why slides bind and faces never line up. Milescraft's drawer installation tool acts like an extra set of precision hands, supporting the box and aligning the slides while you drive screws. Adjustable references keep reveals and spacing consistent from the first drawer to the last. Kitchen builds, shop cabinets, and van interiors all benefit from repeatable accuracy. Install days become calmer because you're not juggling levels, shims, and luck. Would you use this to save an entire afternoon of frustration? The next upgrade goes straight to the cut line itself. Number 3. KEENTECH Circular Saw Blades. Blaming your saw for rough cuts when the blade is dull is a classic trap. KEENTECH Circular Saw Blades bring sharper carbide, better tooth geometry, and tighter kerfs for cleaner rips and crosscuts in sheet goods and solid stock. Swapping one onto your circ saw or track saw instantly reduces tear out and burning. Breaking down plywood for cabinets feels closer to finish ready off the saw. Less sanding and fewer recuts mean more time assembling projects. This kind of blade quietly pays for itself in saved material. Now the next tool helps you lock in consistent framing layouts with zero math. Number 4. Adjustable Framing Spacer Tools. Measuring the same spacing over and over invites tiny errors that stack across a project. Adjustable framing spacer tools give you physical references for studs, slats, balusters, or face frame parts, locking in repeatable gaps. Snap them between pieces, clamp, and drive screws knowing every space is identical. Accent walls, deck railings, and cabinet dividers suddenly look professionally uniform. Layout time drops because your brain isn't doing fractions all day. Production work becomes smoother on large runs. Stay with me, the next kit basically turns one compact tool into a whole micro shop. Number 5. TILSWALL Rotary Toolkit. Dragging out a router or sander for tiny corrections wastes energy and bench space. TILSWALL's Rotary Toolkit gives you a high-speed handheld workhorse for grinding, sanding, engraving, and polishing fine details. Swapping bits lets you move from trimming hardware reliefs to cleaning up inside corners in seconds. Inlay work, sign making, and small repairs feel less fussy when the tool fits right into tight spaces. Edges that would be awkward with big machines become easy to refine. Which one is your favorite so far? The Mortiser or the Micro Tool Kit? The next upgrade completely changes what you can do with a compact router. Number 6. SKIL Portable Router Table. Trying to freehand every edge profile is a recipe for inconsistency. SKIL's portable router table gives your handheld router a home base with a flat top, fence, and featherboards so the workpiece moves instead of the tool. Small shops suddenly gain big shop capability for edge profiles, dados, and pattern routing. Foldable legs and compact design mean it stows away when you're done. Repeatable cuts become much easier when the fence stays fixed. This turns a simple router into a serious shaping station. Now the next tool steps out of the shop and into the woodlot. Number 7. REXBETI Folding Pruning Saw. Harvesting blanks or trimming stock outside with a dull saw is just punishment. REXBETI's folding pruning saw brings aggressive teeth and a safe, lockable body for cutting limbs, small logs, and rough stock on site. Pull saw style action makes cuts feel smoother and more controlled. Green wood for carving or spoon blanks becomes easier to rough out. Compact size means it lives in a tool bag or truck without getting in the way. Shop projects that start in the field get a lot simpler. Things are getting even better from here with a safety upgrade for every table saw user. Number 8. Hedgehog Table Saw Pushblock. Feeding narrow stock past a table saw blade with bare hands is asking for trouble. Hedgehog's pushblock and featherboard system keeps your fingers away from the blade while maintaining even pressure against the fence. One-hand adjustability makes setup faster than traditional featherboards. Rips become smoother, safer, and less prone to kickback. Thin strips and repetitive cuts feel far less sketchy. Once you get used to this kind of control, you won't rip without it. The next tool tackles sharpness at the source with a full honing station. Number 9. AUXTUR Sharpening Stone System. Working with dull chisels and plain irons makes you push harder and cut worse. AUXTUR's Sharpening Stone System combines multiple grits and fixed angles to help you hone consistent bevels without guesswork. Guided fixtures keep your edge geometry repeatable across the set. Hand tool work suddenly feels smoother because the blades actually slice instead of scrape. Setup losses disappear when sharpening becomes a quick, reliable routine. This changes the workflow completely for anyone who loves hand tools. Now the next stand keeps long stock supported where big machines need it most. Number 10. KASTFORCE Heavy Roller Stand. Trying to run long boards across a table saw or planer without outfeed support is how you end up with snipe and sketchy lifts. KASTFORCE's Heavy Roller Stand gives you an adjustable height support you can park behind any machine. Smooth rollers let boards glide while keeping them at the exact table height. Nepperson handling of long stock becomes realistic and safer. Shop layout gets more flexible when a single stand can jump between tools. If you're still watching, it gets even crazier from here, because the next tool is all about precise point fastening and framing. Number 11. Mighty Manual Point Driver. Holding glass, panels, or artwork in frames with improvised fasteners never feels secure. Mighty's manual point driver shoots flexible or rigid points into frames, locking material in while still allowing future removal. Picture frames, cabinet door panels, and display cases all benefit from clean, professional retention. Trigger-style action speeds production compared to tiny brads and hammers. Projects look more gallery-ready when the back is as neat as the front. Framing work gets a serious quality bump. Now the next adapter turns your regular drill press into a mini mortiser. Number 12. Gisafai Mortising Drill Adapter. Buying a full mortising machine isn't always realistic for every shop. Gisafai's Mortising Drill Adapter lets you mount hollow chisel mortising attachments onto a compatible drill press, adding square hole capability to a tool you already own. Clamped fences and depth stops help keep cuts consistent. Chair rails, door frames, and apron joints get cleaner, more accurate mortising than you'd get from freehand drilling. Space-constrained shops love this twin-own approach. This upgrade makes your drill press pull serious joinery duty. The next tool dials in your miter saw accuracy with sliding simplicity. Number 13. MarvTool Sliding Miter. Chasing perfect miters on casing and trim by guessing angles is frustrating. MarvTool's sliding miter or miter gauge accessory lets you set and lock precise angles, then transfer them straight to your saw. Sliding action and clear scales reduce trial and error cuts. Outside and inside corners actually close up tight the first time. Crown, baseboard, and frame projects stop eating so much scrap. Clean joints right off the saw make glue-ups faster and more satisfying. Things are getting even better from here, because the next kit cleans up all those fussy details you usually sand by hand. Number 14. Premium Detail Sanding Kit. Working into tight profiles with a full-size sander leaves swirl marks and frustration. A premium detail sanding kit gives you small, shaped blocks and pads that match curves, corners, and moldings. Swapping between profiles lets you feather edges without flattening delicate shapes. Furniture restorations, trim touch-ups, and sculpted pieces look cleaner when the sanding fits the form. Hand fatigue drops when the tools match your grip and the workpiece. This kind kind of kit quietly raises your finishing game. Now the next set gives your marking and layout workflow a serious upgrade. Number 15. NICPRO Carpenter Pencil Set. Sharpening cheap carpenter pencils with a knife every 10 minutes wastes time. NICPRO's carpenter pencil set includes mechanical-style holders, pre-shaped refills, and sharpener options that keep your lines crisp. Fine points and different lead types help you mark rough framing lumber or precise joinery lines on milled stock. Layout becomes faster and more legible across the whole shop. Having dedicated pencils for different tasks reduces mistakes. Would you use a better pencil if it meant cleaner results everywhere? The next blade goes old school with serious stock removal power. Number 16. Conload Tree Draw Knife. Removing bark, roughing curved pieces, or shaping beams is brutal with the wrong tool. Conload's Tree Draw Knife gives you twin handles and a sharp curved blade for pulling long shavings off green or seasoned wood. Chair makers, spoon carvers, and timber framers all rely on this kind of tool. Control over cut depth lets you sculpt instead of hack. The feel of long curls flying off the blade is addicting. Rough workpieces quickly transform into refined shapes ready for finer tools. The next plane shrinks that idea into a palm-sized precision device. Number 17. Jorgensen Mini Block Planer. Sneaking up on a fit by sanding alone is slow and imprecise. Jorgensen's Mini Block Planer gives you a small, low-angle plane perfect for adjusting end grain, trimming tenons, or easing edges. Compact size fits comfortably in one hand or an apron pocket. Door edges, drawer fronts, and joinery shoulders clean up quickly and controllably. This tool shines when you're tuning parts right at the bench during dry fits. Small, sharp cuts beat aggressive sanding every time. Things are getting even better from here with a mobile home for your miter saw. Number 18. PowerTech Portable Miter Stand. Parking your miter saw on the floor or a random table destroys accuracy and comfort. PowerTech's portable miter stand gives you a stable platform with adjustable support arms for long stock. Quick attach mounts let you lock the saw in place and remove it for storage easily. On-site jobs become more professional and efficient. Shop layouts get more flexible because the stand rolls or folds away when not in use. Consistent height and support also improve cut quality. Now the next gauge makes your table saw setup way less of a guessing game. Number 19. Precision Table Saw Gauge. Setting blade angles and fence alignment by eyeballing scales is how you drift out of square. A precision table saw gauge uses digital or finely engraved scales to check miter slots, blade tilt, and fence parallelism. Accurate setup reduces burning, binding, and sneaky out-of-square cuts. Calibration sessions become methodical instead of mysterious. Every project benefits when the saw is truly dialed in. This changes the workflow completely for anyone living at the table saw. The next tool takes alignment obsession even deeper. Number 20. Woodpecker's Alignment Gauge Tool. Chasing thousandths of an inch might sound extreme, but it shows in your joinery. Woodpecker's alignment gauge tools are built to insanely tight tolerances for checking blades, fences, and assemblies. Precision ground edges and clever geometries give you reliable reference faces. Setting up jointers, planers, and saws becomes almost satisfying when you trust your gauges. High-end furniture and cabinetry start with this level of squareness. Pros swear by these red tools for a reason. Things are getting even better from here because the next gauge stops you from guessing at perfect bit height again. Number 21. Dreyu Table Height Gauge. Dialing in bit or blade height by that looks about right leads to small disasters. Dreyu's Table Height Gauge gives you a clear physical reference for router bits, saw blades, and dado stacks. Simple step or digital readouts help you match exact depths across setups. Joinery like dados, rabbets, and grooves lines up perfectly from piece to piece. Setup time drops as accuracy rises. Repeatable cuts feel more like a science than a lucky guess. Now we'll jump to a cordless cutter that makes drywall-related shop work much cleaner. Number 22. VerveWave Cordless Drywall Cutter. Cutting drywall with a utility knife is dusty, slow, and hard on your hands. VerveWave's cordless drywall cutter uses a small motor and blade to zip through panels with controlled depth. Shop renovations, utility chases, and wall-mounted storage installs get faster and cleaner. Less dust and fewer broken pieces keep the workspace more pleasant. Handles and guides make cutting curves or openings easier. Which one is your favorite shop upgrade tools so far. The next square makes track saw work significantly more accurate. Number 23. View Reel Track Saw Square. Trying to square a track saw rail with a tape measure and hope is not precision. View Reel's track saw square locks onto your guide rail and gives you a true 90-degree reference to the workpiece. Setting up crosscuts and panels becomes straightforward and repeatable. Cabinet carcasses come together with squarer corners straight off the saw. Fewer out by a hair panels hit your assembly table. This small accessory dramatically boosts what a track saw can do. Stay with me. The next ruler finds perfect centers in seconds. Number 24. Hiltiel's Center Finder Ruler. Finding the exact center of a board by manual math slows everything down. Hiltiel's Center Finding Ruler uses offset scales or sliding indicators to mark dead center quickly. Laying out dowels, hardware, and symmetrical patterns becomes simple. Tool handles, turnings, and joinery centered on stock look more professional. Repetitive marking jobs go faster when you aren't doing mental fractions. This changes small part layout in a big way. The next jig is a modern classic every woodworker knows by name. Number 25. Kreg K4 Pocket Jig. Building strong joinery without complex setups is the dream for many shops. Kreg's K4 Pocket Hole Jig lets you drill angled pockets that pull joints together with screws, giving strong, hidden joints fast. Simple adjustments cover different thicknesses of stock. Face frames, cabinet boxes, and shop furniture assemble quickly with minimal clamps. Beginners get confidence and pros get speed. Repair jobs on existing furniture become less intimidating. Now the next gauge lets you copy irregular shapes without thinking twice. Number 26. Jurist Contour Gauge Tool. Tracing odd profiles onto new pieces with cardboard is clumsy. Jurist's contour gauge presses against moldings, pipes, or trim to copy their exact shape with a bed of sliding pins. Transferring that outline to your workpiece lets you cut perfect fits around obstacles. Flooring, scribe panels, and custom trim all benefit from tight fits. Less filler and caulk means cleaner result. Would you use this on your next tricky install? The next saw brings old-school muscle to rough cuts. Number 27. Jorgensen Coarse Hand Saw. Ripping and cross-cutting rough stock by machine isn't always possible. Jorgensen's coarse hand saw gives you aggressive teeth for fast cuts in framing lumber or thick boards. Balanced weight and comfortable handle reduce fatigue during long sessions. Breaking down material outside the shop becomes realistic without power. Traditional techniques like saw benches and planing stops become more fun. This saw earns a permanent spot in any serious kit. Now we're adding a smart auxiliary fence that supercharges your table saw. Number 28. Woodpecker's Auxiliary Rip Fence. Relying only on the factory fence limits what your saw can do. Woodpecker's Auxiliary Rip Fence bolts on to provide taller, straighter, and sometimes sacrificial faces for advanced cuts. Tall fence faces support vertical work like raised panels or tenons. Zero clearance faces reduce tear out on thin stock. Repeatable setups become easier when the fence is tailor-made for your workflow. These red upgrades feel like installing a new saw. Things are getting even better from here with a jig tuned for perfect shelf pin layouts. Number 29. Kreg Shelf Pin. Drilling shelf pin holes freehand is how you get wonky, wobbling shelves. Kreg's shelf pin jig gives you a template with steel guides to drill straight, evenly spaced holes every time. Registration pins keep the jig aligned as you move down cabinets. Adjustable offsets match common door and shelf layouts. Built-ins suddenly look like they came from a factory. This changes the workflow completely for cabinet builders. Now we'll jump over to a tile cutter that earns its keep in mixed material shops. Number 30. Yangyangda Manual Tile Cutter. Woodworkers often end up handling tile for backsplashes, shop sinks, or mixed media pieces. Yangyangda's manual tile cutter scores and snaps ceramic or porcelain tiles cleanly. Straight cuts become quick, low-dust operations compared to grinders. Simple measurement fences keep your lines consistent. Small remodels and accent projects no longer require a separate tile contractor. That flexibility versatility expands what your shop can offer. The next kit takes us back to pure wood with a full carving set. Number 31. Beavercraft Deluxe Carving Kit. Jumping into carving with random knives is a fast way to get frustrated. Beavercraft's Deluxe Kit bundles multiple carving knives, gouges, and often strops for sharpening in one set. Different blade profiles let you rough, detail, and finish spoons, figures, or relief carvings. Ergonomic handles support longer sessions without cramps. Freshly sharpened edges out of the box mean you start with success. Carving becomes a relaxing complement to machine work. Now the next jig helps your angles stay honest at the grinder or hone. Number 32. Infinity Easy Angle Jig. Sharpening tools at consistent angles by hand takes years to master. Infinity's Easy Angle Jig helps hold blades at precise, repeatable angles on stones or grinders. Simple adjustments let you set primary and secondary bevels the same way every time. Chisels and plane irons perform better when the geometry stays consistent. Edge life improves when you aren't over-grinding. This jig makes pro-level sharpening more accessible. Things are getting even better from here with a serious hole saw that chews through tough stock. Number 33. Lennox Carbide Hole Saw. Ordinary hole saws scream and burn in hardwoods and dense sheet goods. Lennox's Carbide hole saws bite cleaner and last longer, especially in tough materials. Aggressive tooth geometry and quality steel reduce chatter and tear out. Door hardware, pipe passes, and large wiring holes look like they were drilled at a factory. Fewer burned edges mean fewer patch jobs. Pros and serious DIYers appreciate what these can do. Next up, we'll line up hinges with a dedicated precision jig. Number 34. Go Helper Hinge Jig Precision. Hanging doors with misaligned hinges is painful. Go Helper's hinge jig provides routing or drilling guides for perfect hinge mortises at consistent spacing. Clamping it to the door and jamb ensures matching pockets every time. Gap lines tighten and doors swing smoothly with less tuning. Cabinet and passage doors both benefit from that consistency. Installation time shrinks as results improve. Would you use a jig like this on your next kitchen job? The next guide dials in shelf pin holes with another clever pattern. Number 35. Tanyo Shelf Pin Guide. Cabinets with crooked shelves always look amateur. Tanyo's Shelf Pin Guide offers another template approach with different spacing, offsets, or pin sizes. Clear indexing makes it easy to match existing systems or hardware. Drilling becomes almost automatic once you set the pattern. Built-ins and bookcases gain professional adjustability. Combining multiple guides covers nearly any layout you'll encounter. Things are getting even better from here, especially for anyone milling logs into usable stock. Number 36. Generic Log Clamp Holder. Handling round logs or small logs on a bandsaw or mill without a clamp is dangerous. A generic log clamp holder locks the piece in place so you can safely slice boards or slabs. Adjustable jaws adapt to diameter changes. One-person log processing becomes realistic in a small shop. Rough material costs drop when you can work with felled trees or local sources. This tool expands your raw material options significantly. Now the next router bit unlocks a whole dovetail system. Number 37. Microjig Dovetail Router Bit. Creating dovetail-shaped slots for clamps and fixtures by hand is tough. Microjig's dovetail router that cuts precise tracks into jigs, fences, or benches that accept matching clamps. T-track-style flexibility appears wherever you route. Work holding becomes modular and customizable for each project. Jig building gets more creative and efficient. This changes the workflow completely for anyone who loves clamping options. The next base plate gives your router a serious stability upgrade. Number 38. Milescraft Compact Router Base. Handheld trim routers often feel tippy on small edges or narrow stock. Milescraft's compact router base broadens the footprint and adds options like edge guides, handles, or accessory holes. More contact area means less risk of rolling and gouging. Inlay work, hinge mortises, and small profiles become easier to control. Visibility of the bit often improves with clear plates. Trim routers start to feel like precision instruments instead of twitchy tools. Now the next marking gauge leans fully into Japanese hand tool tradition. Number 39. Kakuri Japanese Marking Gauge. Pencils are fine, but knife lines are where precision starts. Kakuri's Japanese Marking Gauge uses a sharp blade on a sliding beam to score clean layout lines along a fence. Fibers are sliced, not crushed, which helps reduce tear-out at the cut. Joinery like tenons, dados, and dovetails starts with repeatable, accurate mark. Wooden bodies feel great in the hand and ride smoothly along edges. This little tool instantly improves your layout accuracy. Things are getting even better from here with a compact router that earns its keep on edges and in jigs. Number 40. Tino Compact Wood Router. Trying to handle every routing job with a giant plunge router is overkill. Tino's compact wood router gives you a lighter, more controllable motor for edge profiles, trim, and light mortising. Paired with good bits and base plates, it becomes a go-to for detail work. Smaller size means less fatigue and better control around delicate pieces. In-shop and on-site work both benefit from its portability. This becomes a gateway into more creative routing. Now the next kit polishes your fine shapes with needle precision. Number 41. REXBETI Precision Needle Files. Cleaning up tight corners or refining metal and wood details with sandpaper alone is frustrating. REXBETI's Precision Needle File set offers multiple profiles for working into tiny spots. Small teeth let you shape hardware recesses, inlay pockets, and miniature joinery. Luthiers, box makers, and model builders especially love this level of control. Edges closer to your final line require less sanding afterward. Which one is your favorite finituning tool so far? The next vise gives your bench a serious holding power upgrade. Number 42. Olympia Woodworker Bench Vise. Relying on clamps alone to hold workpieces on the bench slows you down. Olympia's Woodworker Bench vise bolts to the front of your bench and provides strong adjustable jaw pressure for hand tool work. Dog holes and bench dogs expand clamping options for wide panels. Planing, chiseling, and sawing become far more controlled. Traditional techniques shine when the work is rock solid. This kind of vise turns a simple bench into a serious workstation. Things are getting even better from here with a chamfer plane that breaks edges elegantly. Number 43. Chamfer Edge Wood Planer. Sharp, square edges feel unfinished and are prone to chipping. A chamfer edge wood planer gives you a small, dedicated plane to put consistent bevels along corners. Adjustable depth controls how subtle or bold the chamfer is. Furniture and boxes look more refined with softened edges. Handling comfort improves when sharp corners disappear. Quick passes with this tool beat hand sanding edge breaks. The next clamps handle panels with parallel power. Number 44. Rockler Parallel Panel Clamp. Pulling panels flat with pipe clamps alone can twist and bow your glue-up. Rockler's parallel panel clamps apply even pressure along the jaws to keep boards aligned. Wide faces help distribute force across the entire width of the panel. Tabletops, doors, and big glue-ups come out flatter and require less flattening afterward. Assembly becomes more predictable and less stressful. Serious panel work deserves this kind of hardware. Now the next carving kit focuses on spoons and curved work. Number 45. Beavercraft Spoon Carving Kit. Carving spoons or bowls with random knives is an uphill battle. Beavercraft's Spoon Carving Kit bundles straight and hook knives designed specifically for hollowing and shaping. Proper ergonomics reduce fatigue over longer sessions. Green wood projects suddenly become more approachable and fun. Small, useful objects emerge quickly from simple blanks. This kit is perfect for unplugged shop days. The next router base makes your plunge work more stable than ever. Number 46. Woodpecker's Stable Max Router Base. Balancing a big router on narrow edges or templates can feel risky. Woodpecker's Stable Max base widens the footprint and often adds micro-adjust and better visibility. Stable contact reduces tipping and gouging, especially on deep passes. Pattern routing and flush trimming feel more controlled. Precision routing becomes more about the bit and less about your nerves. Pros pushing their routers hard love this upgrade. Now the next clamps bring raw holding power in a simple spring form. Number 47. Equips heavy spring clamps. Grabbing cheap spring clamps that slip or crack is a constant annoyance. Equips heavy spring clamps deliver stronger, more reliable grip with durable jaws. Quick, one-handed clamping speeds, small glue-ups, and temporary fixtures. Holding jigs, cords, or workpieces in place becomes easy. You can never have too many good spring clamps in a shop. These become your everywhere helpers. The next machine brings surfacing capability right to your bench. Number 48. Amazon Basics Bench Planer. Flattening boards by hand alone is romantic, but slow. Amazon Basics Bench Planer gives you a power option for taking rough boards to uniform thickness. Adjustable depth settings let you sneak up on final dimensions. Glue-ups become simpler when boards are predictable and flat. Time spent at the jointer and sander drops significantly. This machine is a gateway into serious milling. Now, the next clamps convert dog holes into powerful hold-downs. Number 49. Bogosnu Bench Dog Clamps. Securing workpieces flat on a bench without edge clamps is tricky. Bogosnu Bench Dog Clamps drop into dog holes and press down with cam or screw action. Holding panels, cutting boards, or parts for routing becomes fast and tool-free. Workflows with planes and hand routers benefit immediately. Rapid repositioning keeps your project moving. This changes the workflow completely for hand tool fans. The next square supercharges scribing and marking on complex projects. Number 50. View Reel Carpenter Scribing Square. Tracing irregular surfaces onto straight stock is tedious. View Reel's Carpenter Scribing Square adds adjustable arms or offset features to help trace and transfer complex profiles. Fitted trim, countertops, and built-ins match uneven walls better. Less filler is needed when scribe lines are accurate. Time on fussy fitting drops dramatically. Finished work looks seamlessly integrated with the space. Now the next clamps nail your corners without wrestling the frame. Number 51. Pony Corner Clamp Set. Gluing up frames, boxes, and cabinet carcasses without corner clamps can be a balancing act. Pony's Corner Clamp Set holds 90-degree joints square while you fasten or glue. Adjustable jaws accept different thicknesses and profiles. Picture frames and drawer boxes stay aligned through clamp up. Fewer racked assemblies reach your bench. This upgrade pays off on every four-corner project. Things are getting even better from here with a digital iron for edge banding. Number 52. AUXTUR Digital Banding Iron. Applying edge banding with a regular iron is a guessing game on temperature. AUXTUR's Digital Banding Iron lets you dial in precise heat for consistent glue activation. Controlled warmth reduces scorching and poor adhesion. Plywood edges suddenly look factory finished with less fuss. Trimming and flushing banding becomes more enjoyable when it's well bonded. Pros working with a lot of sheet goods will love this. The next guide helps your miter saw cuts land exactly where you expect. Number 53. Wongley Miter Saw Guide. Lining stock up with the blade by eye leads to slow, inaccurate cuts. Wongley's Miter Saw Guide uses fences or stops to position your workpiece precisely for repeatable cuts. Batch cutting parts at identical length becomes simple. Angled cuts benefit from solid referencing. Less time is spent sneaking up on the line. Efficiency and accuracy both climb. Now the next tool brings multi-hole doweling into one compact device. Number 54. Feats Nice Multifunction Doweling. Doweling joinery without a jig is an alignment nightmare. Featsness's multifunction doweling jig guides your drill for straight, centered holes in mating pieces. Adjustable stops and bushings let you handle different thicknesses and offsets. Edge-to-edge and face-to-edge joints become reliable and strong. Cabinets, panels, and frames gain hidden reinforcement. This changes the workflow completely for dowel fans. The next set brings chisels back to center stage. Number 55. WorkPro Wood Chisel Set. Working with bargain chisels that won't hold an edge is counterproductive. WorkPro's Wood Chisel Set offers multiple sizes with hardened blades ready for tuning and serious use. Comfortable handles support both mallet and paring work. Mortises, dovetails, and fine fitting all depend on good chisels. Proper sharpening paired with decent steel transforms how they feel. These become go-to tools at the bench. Now the next rasp cuts in multiple directions for shaping freedom. Number 56. Zakisher Multi-Way Wood Rasp. Shaping curves and edges with a single direction rasp is limiting. Zakisher's Multi-Way Wood Rasp uses teeth designed to cut on push, pull, or both directions. Rapid material removal with good control makes sculpting more intuitive. Chair seats, handles, and organic forms come together faster. Transition from rasp to finer tools becomes smoother. This tool encourages more adventurous shaping. The next jig takes pocket joinery up to XL scale. Number 57. Craig XL Pocket Jig. Large projects need heavier joinery than standard pocket screws deliver. Craig's XL Pocket Jig creates bigger pockets for thicker material and stronger screws. Workbenches, outdoor furniture, and structural framing benefit from this upgrade. Setup feels familiar if you know standard Craig jigs. Big assemblies go together fast with impressive strength. This makes large-scale builds more accessible. Now the next fastener hides itself completely. Number 58. Buzzlet Hidden Fastener. Visible screws can ruin a clean design. Buzzlet's hidden fastener systems tuck hardware out of sight while still delivering strong mechanical connections. Decks, fascia, and furniture gain a sleek, uninterrupted look. Installation jigs help you place clips or brackets consistently. Maintenance remains possible without destroying the surface. This type of system elevates any build. The next bit set handles classic tongue and groove joinery. Number 59. Appiolo Tongue Groove Bits. Cutting tongue and groove joints with a table saw alone is time-consuming. Appiolo's matched router bit set cuts both tongues and grooves with proper fit. Flooring, paneling, and frame and panel doors come together quickly. Adjusting bit height and fence depth dials in snugness. Long runs of joinery suddenly feel efficient instead of tedious. These bits pay off on many projects. Things are getting even better from here with a universal router fence. Number 60. Woodpecker's Universal Router Fence. Relying on a basic, wobbly router fence limits what your table can do. Woodpecker's Universal Router Fence adds micro-adjust, dust collection, and rock-solid faces for precise routing. Split fence halves let you joint board edges right at the router table. Repeatable setups turn complex profiles into routine tasks. Dust capture keeps your lungs and shop cleaner. This feels like a full router table upgrade. The next drill set takes care of clean countersinks. Number 61. Borhixa Countersink Drill Set. Driving screws without proper countersinks leads to splits and ugly heads. Borhixa's countersink drill set combines pilot drills and tapered cutters to prep holes perfectly. Depth control collars keep countersinks consistent. Hardware seats flush for a more professional look. Tear out around screw heads drops dramatically. This small kit improves almost every assembly. Now the next duplicator captures angles for perfect miters. Number 62. Bora Materix Angle Duplicator. Guessing angles on odd corners wastes material. Bora's Materix Angle Duplicator locks onto an inside or outside corner, then transfers that angle straight to your saw. Compound and non-standard angles become easy to copy. Trim, crown, and custom framing suddenly feel more approachable. Less trial and error cutting means more progress. This tool earns its keep on the first tricky job. The next machine brings spiral cutter magic to your thickness planer. Number 63. Wen Spiral Thickness Planer. Straight knives in planers leave tear out and require tedious sharpening. Wen Spiral Thickness Planer uses rows of small carbide inserts for smoother cuts and quieter operation. Damaged inserts can be rotated or replaced individually. Figured woods like maple or walnut handle better with less tear out. Surface quality out of the planer reduces sanding time. This is a serious upgrade for any milling heavy shop. The next saw shrinks circular power into a compact package. Number 64. XTBT for Mini Circular Saw. Cutting small pieces with a full-size circular saw feels overkill and unsafe. XTBT4's Mini Circular Saw brings a compact body and thin blade for controlled cuts in thin stock and sheet goods. None-handed operation and better sight lines help on detailed work. Breaking down small panels or trim becomes easier at the bench. Portable size makes it a handy job site companion. This tool fits right between a track saw and a jigsaw. Now the next kit spins sanding into tight places. Number 65. Polywell Sanding Drum Kit. Inner curves and drilled holes are nightmares for flat sanders. Polywell's Sanding Drum Kit mounts in a drill or drill press to sand arcs, slots, and inside edges. Different diameters match various radii in your projects. Template-routed pieces clean up quickly and evenly. Furniture legs, cutouts, and decorative openings all benefit. This is is a must-have for anyone doing curved work. The next stapler adds fastening power for panels and upholstery. Number 66. Arrow Heavy-Duty Stapler. Attaching back panels, upholstery, or shop fixtures with tiny nails is slow. Arrow's heavy-duty stapler drives staples deep into wood, plywood, and composite. Quick trigger action speeds large runs of fasteners. Backs of cabinets, jigs, and fabric work lock-in fast. Staples provide strong holding with low-profile heads. This is one of those tools you reach for constantly. Now the next trimmer cleans edge banding with finesse. Number 67. Nekomoku Edge Band Trimmer. Flushing edge banding with a chisel or knife risks gouges. Nekomoku's edge band trimmer uses opposing blades to shave banding flush to the panel face. Clean, controlled passes leave edges ready for light sanding. Laminate and veneer work look far more professional. Rework time on edges drops significantly. This changes the workflow completely for cabinet and furniture builders. The next subbase makes your router even more adaptable. Number 68. Milescraft Compact Subbase Router. Standard router bases often lack mounting holes and clear visibility. Milescraft's compact subbase upgrades your router with a larger, transparent plate and attachment points for jigs and accessories. Better visibility around the bit improves accuracy. Additional handle and guide options expand what your router can tackle. Pattern, circle, and edge work all benefit. This simple plate unlocks many new techniques. Now the next square handles multiple marking tasks in one. Number 69. Woodpecker's Multi-Marking Square. Switching between multiple layout tools slows you down. Woodpecker's Multi-Marking Square combines square, depth gauge, marking guide, and often angle references in one precision tool. Crisp, engraved scales and sharp edges give reliable references. Tenon shoulders, rabbets, and offsets all get easier to mark. Shop efficiency improves when one tool handles half your layout. Pros love how much function is packed into one red piece. The next angle finder makes measuring and transferring slopes trivial. Number 70. Milescraft Angle Finder Measuring Tool. Reading roof pitches, stair angles, or bevels with improvised methods invites mistake. Milescraft's Angle Finder captures an angle and displays it clearly, often transferring directly to saws. Layout for trim, framing, and complex joinery speeds up. Matching existing angles on site becomes easy. Fewer miscuts reach the scrap bin. This simple tool pays for itself in saved time. Now the next planer puts smoothing power in your hands. Number 71. Wen Electric Hand Planer. Leveling doors, fitting edges, or knocking down high spots with sanders alone is slow. Wen's Electric Hand Planer lets you shave controlled passes off stock quickly. Adjustable depth and fence options help keep cuts straight. Door fitting and on-site adjustment become much easier. Rough boards can be brought into line before final surfacing. This bridges the gap between hand planes and big machines. The next stone keeps all your edges honest. Number 72. Woodworking Sharpening Stone. Relying on dull tools because sharpening seems intimidating limits your work. A quality woodworking sharpening stone, often double-sided, gives you coarse and fine grits for tuned edges. Paired with guides, it becomes the heart of your sharpening station. Chisels, knives, and planes all cut better and safer with fresh edges. Regular touch-ups become part of your rhythm instead of big project. This one block quietly lifts your whole shop's performance. Now the next hinge system takes care of hidden door hardware. Number 73. Rotary Concealed Hinge. Installing concealed hinges without the right jig is rough. Rotry's concealed hinge setup includes drill guides or bits sized for common cup hinges. Accurate cup holes and screw placements keep doors aligned and adjustable. Modern cabinetry relies heavily on this type of hardware. Clean, hidden hinges give your work a pro look. Would you use a dedicated kit just for hinges? The next station lights up and burns art straight into your project. Number 74. Yihua Pyrography Burning Station. Adding custom art or labels with markers fades over time. Yihua's Pyrography Burning Station gives you a temperature-controlled pen and tips for burning designs into wood and leather. Lettering, shading, and textures become permanent features. Personalized gifts, logos, and decorative panels all benefit. Adjustable heat helps you handle different woods without scorching. This opens a whole new creative avenue. Now the next clamps grip in multiple orientations from one handle. Number 75. Kreg VersaGrip Clamp Pack. Standard clamps with fixed jaws are limited. Kreg's VersaGrip clamps often feature rotating heads and multiple clamping modes from a pistol grip. Spreading, clamping, and a dangle pressure become possible with one tool. Quick adjustments keep assembly moving fast. Jigs and fixtures become easier to improvise. This set earns a daily spot on your bench. The next trimmer returns to edge banding with another clever design. Number 76. Draxor Edge Band Trimmer. Different edge banding thicknesses need flexible trimming. Draxor's trimmer uses adjustable blades or dual cutters to handle a range of banding in one tool. Smooth passes flush up edges with minimal chatter. Curved or straight runs both clean up nicely. Cabinet jobs finish quicker when edges cooperate. It's a small tool with big visual impact. The next tape pack makes layout faster without marking the wood. Number 77. X-Fasten Woodworking Tape Pack. Marking directly on finished surfaces can be risky. X-Fasten's woodworking tape gives you low-tack, removable tape you can write on for layout and labeling. Sticking it to workpieces lets you mark cuts, notes, and references cleanly. Tear-free removal protects delicate finishes. Complex projects stay organized when each part is labeled. This changes the workflow completely for detailed builds. The next mini saw packs serious power for its size. Number 78. Doberman Mini Circular Saw. Working on small stock with big saws feels dangerous. Doberman's Mini Circular Saw offers controlled, shallow cuts in a compact form factor. Ideal for thin panels, flooring, and trim work, it bridges the gap between a jigsaw and full circular saw. Depth adjustment keeps you from cutting too deep. Portability makes it useful on ladders and cramped spaces. This is a great problem-solver tool. The next router base is for precision plunge control. Number 79. STUMAC Plunge Router Base. Fine depth control with standard trim routers is limited. STUMAC's Plunge Router Base converts compact routers into precise plunge tools. Depth stops and smooth action help you cut inlays, pickups, or stopped grooves accurately. Luthiers and detail-oriented woodworkers gain major flexibility. Controlled plunges reduce blowout and overcutting. This base unlocks new routing techniques. Now the next scribe makes fitting workpieces to irregular surfaces easy. Number 80. Trend Easy Scribe Marking Tool. Fitting cabinets or tops to wavy walls is a classic challenge. Trend's Easy Scribe Marking Tool rides along the surface and transfers the contour to your workpiece with a pencil. Consistent offset keeps your cut line accurate. Scribed edges hug walls and trim neatly. Less caulk and filler are needed to hide gaps. Installations look tighter and more intentional. Things are getting even better from here with a support pole that acts like a third hand. Number 81. WorkPro Cabinet Support Pole. Holding cabinets or long parts overhead while you fasten them is exhausting. WorkPro's cabinet support pole adjusts in height and locks to brace uppers and panels in place. Hands-free support lets you focus on fastening and alignment. Working solo becomes far more realistic. Crown, beams, and fixtures also benefit from this temporary bracing. This tool feels like hiring an invisible helper. Finally, the last kit takes care of metal shaping in serious fashion. Number 82. Pilum Carbide Burr Set. Shaping metal or hard materials with files alone is slow. Pilum's Carbide Burr Set chucks into rotary tools to carve, bevel, and smooth metal hardware, epoxy, and even dense wood. Multiple profiles handle everything from rough shaping to fine detailing. Jig hardware, custom brackets, and decorative metal accents become easier to tune. Longevity of carbide beats cheap burrs by a mile. Once you start using these, you'll reach for them constantly. That's a wrap on 82 new woodworking tools on Amazon Wood Tools for Experts. We hope you discovered powerful woodworking tools, precision equipment, and innovative workshop gadgets that can upgrade your craftsmanship. From cutting and shaping tools to advanced measuring and finishing gear, these Amazon finds are built for both professionals and serious hobbyists. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more woodworking tool reviews, Amazon finds, and workshop upgrade ideas. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest tool compilations.